Hey everyone, Blaze here. Welcome to the long-awaited Discotek Mega Haul video or set of videos. There's going to be multiple videos because I have so much Discotek stuff that I've picked up over the last few years. I mean, as much as this channel is about collecting anime from all the companies, let's be real, Discotek hold a very special place in my heart, and I've made that very clear across multiple videos over the years. And I feel like most of my regular viewers are also big fans of Discotek's output. I mean, how can you not be? They're just amazing with the stuff they're putting out. And yeah, so this is going to be part one of basically what I did for a mini haul. I think it was my last Discotek haul. I did a mini haul um, showcasing all the titles I'd gotten through the 90's, like this releases they put out from the 90's, shows and OVAs and movies and stuff from the 90's in chronological order. I'm going to be doing the same again for the 80's, but there's so much more stuff. So this is going to be basically a multi-part video. I'm thinking like 4 parts. So yeah, in part one here we're going to be concentrating on 1980 up to 1981. Yeah, so just the first 2 years of the decade, but I already have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 Discotek Blu-rays, be it high definition or standard def on Blu-ray. But yeah, 7 Blu-rays to share. So let's get into it. Okay, so the first title for in chronological order is a Super Robot series, mecha series from the summer of 1980. It begun airing in June, and that is Uchu Senshi Bardioso, which I completely butchered, or just, Space Warrior Baldios, a complete TV series. So yeah, this is the full 34 episodes. Interesting thing about this series is that it was supposed to run for 39 episodes. I don't know why it didn't get to do that complete run. But yeah, it was originally planned for 39 episodes. That got cut all the way down to 31 episodes. But there was actually 34 episodes on this set. So basically, there's like a broadcast ending that goes to episode 31, obviously, and then there's 3 additional episodes that never aired on Japanese television back in the day. I'm not really sure how they ever came about. I assume they must have been released on Laserdisc TV box sets rather than as an OVA, because obviously OVAs weren't really a thing until 1983 and onwards with Dallas and that. But anyway, not to go off on a tangent. So yeah, Space Warrior Baldios. So this is sort of a series. It's like a environmental sort of series set on a different planet. And basically all the citizens of this planet live underground and stuff. So yeah, let's just get into it, shall we? So Marilyn Reagan lost his father and his home when Gatler staged a coup, forcing their people to abandon their dying planet and invade another. Seeking vengeance, Marin pursued, but when he saw the world they planned to invade, Marin found a new mission: to protect the untarnished skies and seas of that blue planet, Earth. Okay, wasn't fully aware of the plot on this one until I just read that. I thought it was just on a completely made up planet somewhere else, but no, it does actually take place on Earth. So yeah, the battle will not be easy. Marin's technology is the only thing that can stand against Gatler's forces, but the Earthlings are not quick to trust him, and the ruthless enemy commander, Aphrodisia, I'm pretty sure, is hungry for vengeance of her own. Can Marin gain the Earthlings' trust, avenge his father, and stop the war? Part of a darker breed of super robot shows that first flourished in the late 1970s, primarily I think due to like Tomino's influence and like the romance trilogy, and like Zambot 3 especially I feel like is pretty iconic for being a little bit darker. Anyway, yeah, in the late 70s, the 34 episode Space Warrior Baldios uses the clash between the two desperate races to explore themes of vengeance, trust, and the darkness of war. This set features the broadcast ending that shocked audiences at the time, as well as 3 additional unaired episodes. Yeah, so here, Space Warrior Baldios on Blu-ray. I believe, I haven't double checked this, but I do believe this whole series is unfortunately not in perfect high definition. This isn't an upscale or anything, but I do believe it's basically 30 episodes or something are in beautiful high def, and unfortunately the last 4 episodes, so that would be the broadcast ending episode and the 3 unaired episodes, I think are upscales, unfortunately, like the film elements, negatives, whatever, for those are missing in Japan, and this is based on the Japanese Blu-ray box set. So yeah, I really like the artwork on this. The robot for this just looks badass. That is one of my favourite looking, you know, traditional like super robot designs. I'm not really sure what it is about it that makes it stand apart to me, but it just looks really cool. Obviously, we've also got the jet here that's, I'm pretty sure is not part of the robot in the, yeah, that's not part of the robot. But yeah, I just think the robot looks pretty bad. It's a very Gundam looking face, but I like it. Anyway, here's the back and the spine, which, why is that? Because I'm holding it upside down. I was super confused and it looked mirrored or something. I didn't understand why. Weird thing. Okay, so I bought this in the Right Stuff birthday sale that came about like a couple of months ago in the summer, or earlier in the summer. Yeah, and I don't know if this is like this for all print runs of this series, but it comes in a black case, a freeway black case, because this has 3 discs in it. And yeah, black cases obviously traditionally would be more expensive, so I'm just sort of confused. I don't really know why this happened. I don't believe it's supposed to necessarily come in a black case, as I'll show an example of in a minute, but there is the robot again on this one with awful glare from my light because it's right above where I'm filming. And yeah, some more nice disc art there, but yeah, if we pick out this inlay here, you'll see that it does have kind of reverse art, you know, inside artwork, which is again pretty cool. So yeah, I don't believe this is supposed to come in a black case, and I'm sort of confused as to why. I'm interested to see if anybody else's comes in a black case. Very few anime that I've ever purchased have come in anything other than just, you know, a Blu-ray case, or, you know, with the odd Aniplex releases come in like clear cases occasionally, but yeah, like the only black cases I've ever seen come with an anime are like the Gundam movies, or at least the early releases of the Gundam movies and Thunderbolt and stuff like that from Right Stuff and Sunrise, Nozomi, whatever. Yeah, it's sort of weird because they're normally like reserved for like horror movie labels, like boutique labels and stuff. So yeah, I just don't really understand why this comes in a. It would have been more expensive for them to do that. There's no reason for them to do that. So yeah, don't know if anyone else has came in a black case, or this is just like literally a one-off weird run of this series from Discotek. Anyway, so yeah, that's the TV series, which we spent way too long talking about. And then yeah, so remember I said it was supposed to be 39 episodes. That was the original plan. So we got 34. That's 31 for the TV series and 3 unaired episodes. I've already shown this before. I picked this up a few years ago because I was able to get it cheap and quickly. So I figured I'd pick it up while I can, and I'll eventually get the series. Took a little bit longer on that, but obviously I do also have the 1981 film, Space Warrior Baldios, the movie. This actually contains an English dub cut of the movie as well. Obviously the series is just in Japanese, but yeah, so this has the 2-hour Japanese version. Yeah, original 117-minute Japanese version with English subtitles, and the 99-minute US English dub version, both remastered in high definition. I believe they just took the old dub and edited it, you know, edited the Japanese masters or whatever, the film masters to match the dub or whatever, and the original runtime of that. I believe, I'm not 100% sure, but I believe that's the case. Anyway, yeah, I don't really want to read the back because, yeah, remember I said it was 39 episodes, or supposed to be, so that left us with 5 episodes. So yes, apparently this is sort of loosely based on the original concept for those 5 episodes. So I don't know 100% if this takes place after the series, but just in case it does, I'm not going to read the synopsis on the back because that will spoil it for me and you. So yeah, feel free to say in the comments whether it is or not definitively a sequel, but yeah, obviously if it is, don't spoil it for anyone else, including me. So yeah, we'll quickly show this again because I've shown it before, but we'll show it again since it's in this video, and it is obviously part of the collection with the TV series. I really like the disc art on this one, it's super cool. You got like the, I assume this must be the original planet that a lot of these characters are from, like Marin and all that are from, like the doomed environment planet, and then we've got the cloud blue marbles in space. That is the Earth, or marble. Anyway, Space Warrior Baldios. Okay, so next up we got something that's super cool that I was super happy about this one finally getting picked up for a Blu-ray. I sort of always hoped it would. Yeah, this I think was announced back in March, earlier this year, and yeah, quick release on this one. It came out a couple of months ago, I think. And yeah, on Blu-ray, really nice set from Discotek. So yeah, this started airing in October of 1980. It's the second series for this video. Astro Boy on Blu-ray. So this is a complete 1980 television series. All 52 episodes. This contains all 52 episodes in Japanese and then all 51 English dubbed episodes. Only the original English dub. Obviously, there is the fabled Canadian English dub, which was heavily edited, and you know, for various reasons, it's quite obvious really why it wouldn't be included on this set. But yeah, that is a thing that does exist, but it isn't on this set. I don't think that's ever actually been released on a DVD anyway, any digital media. I'm pretty sure it might have come out on VHS, I'm not sure. But anyway, yeah, so Astro Boy. Really like the packaging on this. It's quite different, like, because obviously the manga entertainment DVD came in like a red case or red slip case. It did have like multiple coloured covers for the DVDs on the inside. I'll probably show some pictures of it here because I do have my copy up for sale right now, so I took some pictures. So yeah, but obviously I've replaced it with this beautiful Blu-ray, and I do like the yellow cover. It's not the first thing you'd think of Astro Boy. It's definitely more a red colour for Astro Boy, but I do really like it. Really, really nice packaging on this. So yeah, this is interesting because yeah, 17 years after the birth of television anime with Astro Boy in 1963, we got basically a colour remake, sort of, you know, a re-adaptation. So this is a new version of Astro Boy, obviously based on Tezuka's original manga again. This has its own, you know, adaptation of the origin of Astro Boy and all those things. Although I believe, weirdly, that there's some sort of like the one episode that's missing for like the English version that was never dubbed for some reason, I think, is missing like the origin story, be it for Astro Boy or like the main villain of the series. I can't quite remember, but yeah. Anyway, yeah, this is a new version of Astro Boy in colour. This is basically one of, obviously it's the first Astro Boy TV series in colour. There'd only been one before in black and white, but it's also like basically the first real version of Astro Boy in colour, because they did a movie back in the 60s which I believe was colour, and then I believe Astro Boy the character also appeared in some of like the Tezuka like 24-hour NHK like TV specials and stuff. I'm pretty sure Astro Boy would have appeared in some of those, and yeah, those were obviously in colour. But yeah, the long awaited colour version of Astro Boy, this is something that Osamu Tezuka had wanted to do for like about a decade. He wanted to do it in the early 70s because basically, obviously, with Astro Boy, the original series being in black and white, and then by the end of the 60s, basically all anime were in colour. Like, so it was basically out, like the Astro Boy was kind of out of date, like outdated by within the decade, you know, within about 7 years, it was sort of already old hat. So, and being such a, you know, popular character and such an important part of anime history. I mean, Astro Boy is basically the Mickey Mouse of anime, if you will. So yeah, you know, Tezuka really wanted to redo Astro Boy, and it took a long time for that to actually come to fruition, surprisingly. Like I said, because it wasn't being rerun a lot because it was in black and white. A lot of Japanese households has obviously begun to invest in colour television, so a lot of the colour anime of the early 70s were basically the thing that sort of dominated the anime blocks on their like children's television and stuff, I imagine, at the time. So yeah, Tezuka wanted to do a colour version as early as the 1970s. For some reason it took as long as all the way up to 1980. But yeah, we finally got a colour version. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to watching this one. It's like, oh, that cover is so I don't want to swear, but I'm gonna, because it's so fucking cool. I love this cover, and I really haven't watched really anything Astro Boy, which is ridiculous. I've seen so much anime at this point. Like, I've seen the first couple of episodes of the black and white version. So I think the first 2 episodes were done subtitled on the old Nozomi Entertainment releases. But yeah, I've been really wanting to watch an Astro Boy series, and I have owned the DVD version of this series for a while. Obviously, this isn't the first time, but I knew this Blu-ray existed, and I was always sort of hopeful, well, Discotek might do it, and I sort of just kept waiting and waiting and waiting, hoping it would happen. So when I finally watched it, I could see it in beautiful high def. So yeah, and that day has finally arrived relatively recently, so I would like to get to this series before the end of the year. It's not a perfect transfer, and you know it is in proper HD, film grain laden and all that, but it hasn't been as remastered as maybe you might expect, given this is freaking Astro Boy. There are hairs and scratches and you know things like that on the print, so it's not perfect, but you know it's still far superior to what we had available before. And yeah, I'm super looking forward to this, watching this. I love the opening to this. I mean, it's just a, I'm pretty sure it's the same as like the black and white version, just redone. But yeah, it's one of my favourite openings of the 80s and stuff. So yeah, I just really think I'll enjoy this a lot. I mean, it is kind of long at 50 episodes, a 20-hour series. It'll be very episodic. But I mean, I haven't overly mentioned on this channel because I haven't done manga stuff on this channel really, but when it comes to manga, I'm a huge Tezuka fan. Like, it's basically all I've read. Like, of all the manga that I've read, which isn't very much, it's weird that 90% of it is Osamu Tezuka stuff. I'm just really attracted to his style. And yeah, I've been wanting to read the Astro Boy mangas for a really long time, but there's like so many volumes, and the volumes are massive. They're like this big, and and there's like 15 of them or something. It's ridiculous. But I wouldn't mind getting like the first couple at least, like the omnibus volumes. Um, yeah, that would be cool because I just, yeah, I feel like I'd really enjoy it, and I'm really looking forward to watching this series. So yeah, Astro Boy finally available. How many of you went and bought this one the second it came out? Like, it was very much high on my to get this, and I'm very pleased to have done so. So yeah, Astro Boy. Okay, so following on perfectly from Astro Boy, we have basically another series that is exactly the same sort of ordeal, I imagine, and probably came about for all the same reasons, and that is Shin Tetsujin 28. So yeah, this started airing exactly the same day, I believe, as Astro Boy, October 1st, 1980. And yeah, so this is new Tetsujin 28, otherwise known in the West somewhat, at least, as for the original series, as Gigantor. And obviously that series was also one of the very first anime. I believe it might even be the second anime TV series, not 100% sure about that. But at the very least, it also started airing in 1963 and is known as basically the other forefather of anime, if you will, at least with TV series, obviously. So yeah, and I wonder if this basically came about exactly the same time as Astro Boy for all the same reasons. You know, again, like a series that was made in black and white, popular at the time, but maybe had sort of lost its appeal because you know this is a black and white series and color was all the rage. And yeah, it just wasn't probably getting many reruns and things like that. So hey, why don't we go back and remake it? And I wonder, almost like maybe they'd heard they were doing that of Astro Boy, and they're like, well, yeah, we should probably do that with Tetsujin 28 as well. So yeah, this also got a beautiful Blu-ray from Discotek. This one actually came out a few years ago, I think like 2019 or something, like January 2019 or something. So yeah, it's been out for a while. I've actually had this for a long time and just haven't got around to sharing it. I didn't get it the second it came out, but I got it in 2019, I'm pretty sure, and I just haven't got around to showing it on a video, which is insane. But yeah, here we have Shin Tetsujin 28 on Blu-ray, really nice. So yeah, complete readaptation of the Mitsuteru Yokoyama's manga. Yeah, so just a new version, basically, new origins, new everything. Again, considerably shorter than its 60s counterpart, just like Astro Boy is. This is also 52 episodes, I believe. No, 51. 51 episodes in a glorious 1080p. Obviously, no dub on this one. This wasn't dubbed back in the day. Well, I shouldn't say obviously. Obviously, Gigantor, the original 60s version of Tetsujin 28, obviously Gigantor being the English dubbed version. So yeah, it did get, the original series got a dub. This one wasn't resurrected like Astro Boy was with a dub. But yeah, nice Blu-ray from Discotek. Unfortunately though, this is a 4-disc case, 4-disc Blu-ray set, and Discotek did not, or they did put this in a 4-disc case, but what they didn't do was make sure the slipcover was designed for a 4-disc case. So my slipcover is basically stretched over it. It's insanely tight getting this out. Like, you have to like really push it. I'm so worried that I'm just going to destroy the slipcover one day trying to get this set out. It's insane. I need to replace the case with like a freeway case that's smaller, and then maybe just put a disc in like a paper sleeve or something inside the case, because, or even a 2-disc case and maybe with stacked hubs on it or something, because I can't leave it like this, because I feel like one day it's just going to get absolutely destroyed. I mean, it is just a slip cover, but I'd rather it didn't get completely wrecked. You can kind of see how it's like sort of curved, especially on this side. It's just like like just stretched around the corners and stuff. But yeah, same artwork on the inside, and some pretty nice disc art. I do like this one quite a lot. It's pretty cool looking. And then we got basically screenshots. Oh, I imagine they're all screenshots, to be honest, but this one does look pretty cool. And then inside artworks, nothing too crazy, but nice. So yeah, that's Shin Tetsujin 28. There's not a hell of a lot to say about it. I mean, it's basically the original like giant robot, super robot show, but obviously unlike shows that would come along later on. In this case, the robot is controlled by the 12-year-old kid down here, remote controlled. So yeah, shortly after preteen, Shotaro Kaneda, fucking butchered that, I know I did that, discovers his late father's legacy, a 60-foot tall, 50-ton remote controlled robot. He's put in charge of it, and yada yada yada. Keeps the peace, fights evil. You kind of get, you kind of understand the plot of this series. It's pretty basic, but yeah, the Blu-ray transfer for this is really, really nice. I don't believe it's DNR'd. I have put in the disc. I do believe it does have film grain intact, but yeah, it's a really nice looking series on Blu-ray, and I hope to get to it eventually. So yeah, it's really nice to have one of the classic versions of Tetsujin 28, because obviously there's the 60s series, which you can only get in the West via the dubbed version, unsurprisingly. I'm not sure. I have seen a couple of episodes of the original black and white version, and yeah, it's fine. It's not something I'd want to watch a hell of a lot of, and especially not like the 100 episodes or something plus. I think the original black and white Japanese version is, but yeah, there is Gigantor. You can get a couple of box sets for that. The long out print, I'm pretty sure, but you can get them like 80 episodes of it. Again, not something for me, but those are out there. And then obviously there's also Tetsujin 28 2004, which I believe is just a new reimagining. I'm not sure how closely tied that is to the manga, but yeah, there's that, which Discotek have also put out on Stone and Def Blu-ray. I do have that. It won't be in these hauls, obviously, because we're focusing on the 1980s. So yeah, Shin Tetsujin 28 on Blu-ray. Let's move on to the next thing. Okay, now we move away from 1980 and into 1981. I've still got 4 titles to talk about. Starting with a film that came out in the summer of 1980. We have Sanrio's Sea Prince and the Fire Child. Now, I already own this on DVD, which I'm trying to sell and not really doing a very good job at, unfortunately, even at bargain basement prices. But anyway, I did decide to upgrade this one to a Blu-ray, because I feel if I'm going to own this film at all, I would like to have it on Blu-ray. If I'm ever going to rewatch this film, I would like to see it in high definition. So yeah, this is Sanrio's, I'm not really sure, like second or third film. Obviously did The Ringing Bell, this, and Journey Through Fairyland that Discotek have also put out, which I think will be in another video. But yeah, so this is based on a story done by Shintaro Tsuji, who's like the president of Sanrio, you know, the company that made like Hello Kitty and all that. And yeah, back in the late 70s and early to mid 80s, they were doing animation, and really, really nice kind of Western inspired, you know, in terms of the style of animation film. So this is very much looks more like a Disney film than your traditional anime film of the period. Really, really high quality animation. To be honest though, I'm not a huge fan of this film. I have seen my original DVD once through, and it was fine. It's just kind of long. So yeah, I said it's based on a story by Shintaro Tsuji, and it's basically, I say it's based on a story that he made, but basically this is like a tale as old as time in fiction, like star-crossed lovers who can't quite get it together and have to fight against the adversity of all those around them that are keeping them apart, etc., etc. You know, pretty much a traditional romance, classic romance story of the ages, if you will. So yeah, again, nicely animated, but the problem for me really is with a plot like that, this film's just too long, especially for like a kids film as well. Like this film's 108 minutes. So that's an hour and 48 minutes. Like that's just too long for a film like this. Like the Disney films of the period, the like Don Bluth films that I'm not sure. Yeah, I think Secret Nim was like 1982. So yeah, not quite immediate Don Bluth films, or whatever, the Don Bluth films of the 80s and stuff, like they're all like anywhere between 60 and 90 minutes, which is like a sweet spot. A lot of them are like in the 75 to 85-minute range, which is fine. Obviously some Disney films are longer than that, but like the majority of them aren't. Like they are in that sweet spot. And yeah, this one just overstays its welcome a little bit too long. Like it's really pretty basic. Like the story you think this is what it is, and it just sort of drags. But it is very beautiful to look at. So yeah, I figured if I'm going to own it at all, I'd like to own the Blu-ray. So I want to pick this up. This is quite an old Blu-ray. I wouldn't be surprised if this is something that maybe goes out of print soon from Discotek. Obviously, lots of things have been unfortunately going out of print from Discotek just recently, and I wouldn't be surprised if this one potentially follows up sooner rather than later, because I just don't know how many people are still buying this one. Again, it came out quite a while ago, like at least 4 or 5 years ago at this point, if not more. You know, doesn't even have a slipcover. It came out before Discotek were really doing slipcovers. That just tells you how long it's been since it came out, and yeah. Uh, and again, like how many people were actually actively buying this. Obviously, part of the reason that Discotek said they were starting to put stuff out of print was because they're running out of room in their warehouse, and next year is supposed to be a bumpy year for them, which sort of terrifies me. I'm sort of worried they're over expanding in a way, like putting out too much stuff too quick. Like again, because I feel like there's going to be a lot of people that are going to get disappointed, probably me included. I feel like I might already be in that boat where they're going to put out stuff that I just can't afford in the moment, and by the time I might have the money available, I'm already pre-ordering other stuff they've put out. You know, everyone's wallets and, you know, purse strings or whatever are getting tighter and tighter, if you will. You know what I mean? Like, there's less money to go around. It seems like by the day, by the week, you know, for sure. And like, I just worry that Discotek are going to start putting out so much stuff and kind of just disappoint people. Where this is my worry, that they might disappoint me, I guess, if I make it more personalised here, where I just won't be able to get some things, and that will suck, and it sort of leave a sour taste, you know, a little bit. Like, so yeah, I'm trying to get as caught up as I can as possible at the moment, but yeah, it's pretty difficult with like the energy crisis thing going on, especially in the UK. It's insane. Anyway, that's a topic that isn't really meant for this video. So yeah, Sea Prince and the Fire Child on Blu-ray. Happy to have it, I guess. Better to, if I'm going to have it at all, I'd rather have it on Blu-ray. So yeah, that's Sea Prince and the Fire Child. Okay, so the remaining three titles I've got are all TV series that started airing in the fall of 1981, so I'm guessing October. So I'm just going to go through in the order I have them piled up here. So first up, we have something I should have picked up ages ago. I picked this up just recently in the birthday sale. Not, but I keep saying birthday sale, I think I said that before. The Discotek sale that happened just before the Right Stuff birthday sale. Godmars, the complete TV series and the OVA that came out about 1988, sorry, and the movie, which I'm not sure when that came out, but yeah, there's all 64 bumper episodes, or, you know, 64 is a lot of episodes, obviously they're 25 minutes each, whatever. So yeah, Godmars. This is a TMS Entertainment series, again, came out in 1981. It's based loosely on another manga called Mars from Mitsuteru Yokoyama, the creator of like Tetsujin 28 and Giant Robo and stuff like that. Basically like he's like the other god of manga. You got Osamu Tezuka, and you've got basically Mitsuteru Yokoyama nipping at his heels. So yeah, here we have Godmars, and yeah, 64 episodes. I believe when I looked this up before, this was only supposed to air. Yeah, it says it on the back. That's probably where I read it from. Initially planned as a 26 episode series, strong toy sales and an unexpectedly large and vocal female following, which would have been pretty unusual for a show of this type, at least at the time I would imagine, which is why it's worth mentioning. Vocal female following made Godmars a sustained and long running hit, and it managed to run for a full 64 episodes, which is pretty crazy. That's, you know, a whole core longer. That's 5 core basically. TV series, was pretty insane. So yeah, Godmars. So it's basically about a character who is sent to Earth to basically destroy it or enslave it or something to that degree. He gets there and basically sort of becomes enamored with Earth, the planet, and the humans residing on it, and decides that he doesn't want to destroy the world anymore. destroy Earth, enslave Earth, or whatever. But unfortunately, his people back on his home planet get word of this. I believe that he's not doing what he said it was sent out to do, so they come to Earth to do the job, and he ends up basically having to go through the dilemma of basically protecting the Earth and fighting his own people to save the Earth that he has now fallen for. Yeah, and the part that makes this series basically got the reason why it got like this female fan base that sort of gave it such longevity is because this is like one of the first series that ever kind of garnered like this, you know, BL like yaoi sort of like shipping male characters sort of fandom. It's like one of the earliest examples of that in anime, because it has a pretty large cast of pretty effeminate looking males in it, and yeah, lots of like melodrama and things like that sort of played up, and you know, shots of two male characters being slightly, not necessarily like over affectionate for each other, but just like maybe just the look and style of the animation sort of leading to that sort of imagination in some of the female fans and things like that. And so yeah, Godmars. This is, I believe, this is the cover they used on their Twitter announcement. Like, I think this was like 2 or 3 years ago. I think this was announced the same time they announced Galaxy Express. I meant to get it ages ago, just didn't get around to it, but I have finally got it now on my pursuit to make sure that I get all of these, you know, giant robot, super robot and mecha shows that Discotek have put out, and just other companies in general, because I do like these shows, even though I'm currently watching Victory Gundam and from the 90s and moaning about it on Twitter because my love-hate relationship with Tomino continues. But yeah, I do enjoy watching the shows. I am moderately enjoying Victory Gundam. It's just Tomino just infuriates me with his style of storytelling. I think he's an exceptionally bad director. But anyway, he didn't direct this. I don't know who directed this. Tetsuo Imazawa. Make that of what you will. I have no idea if what stuff he worked on, but yeah, apparently he is the director of this one. So yeah, Godmars. Yeah, bumper set. Did I show the disc? I can't remember. But those are the discs, and I might as well show the inside artwork as well as unexcited. Well, that's pretty cool looking actually, I guess. Yeah, so yeah, 64 episodes. That's kind of crazy. It really is. And then like an OVA series, which I think is like 6 episodes, and the movie, of course, it's all in standard def, not in high definition, unfortunately. But yeah, it also made buying this pretty cheap. This is a really good deal for a box set. So yeah, that is Godmars from 1981, TMS Super Robot series. Like a combiner robot. You think of the same thing as like Voltron, or you know, Beast King Go Line, and like, you know, shows like Power Rangers, even, you know, things like that. So yeah, pretty cool. So yeah, Godmars. Okay then, so penultimately I've got something that is now sadly super rare. I have the first of the J9 trilogy. I was able to get all 3 of them, fortunately. We'll get into that in a minute, I guess. But yeah, I've got Galaxy, Cyclone, Braiger, Braiger. I really like the opening to this, as with all mecha openings, especially from the 80s. Yeah, so yeah, super fortunate to pick this one up. I saw the announcement on Twitter a little bit late, and I really procrastinated quite a bit for like a good 40 minutes about what to do about it, like whether to, because I didn't really have the money. I had to take a lot of money out of my savings that I really didn't want to do, so I had to pay that back to myself over like the last month. But yeah, I just knew I had to get these. I would have been so sad to have missed out on them. So yeah, really happy to have gotten them all. I picked them all up on Amazon. I paid a pretty penny for them, frankly, like way more than I wanted to, a good 35 to like 40% more than what it would have cost me through normal avenues. But yeah, I basically panic bought them because they were going out of print pretty quick. Like by the time I saw the announcement, this was already sold out on Right Stuff. So yeah, I basically just decided to buy them all from Amazon in one go while the copies were still there. Unfortunately, that worked out. I was able to get copies of all of them. So yeah, I'm really sad for anyone who missed out. It really sucks that happened. It seemed like Discotek are putting things out of print now at the moment. It's sort of worrying. I think I talked about this already on the Godmars thing, but yeah, it sort of sucks. But hopefully Hopefully there won't be too many more that are as crazy as what happened with these and Acro Bunch. So yeah. Anyway, so yeah, Galaxy, Cyclone, Braiger. Let's talk about the series rather than the kind of depressing stuff like that. So yeah, this is a giant robot show, part of a trilogy of shows that started in 1981. Obviously, this started airing in October, just like Godmars. I think this is like the 6th of October. I do believe I found out the date for the first episode of this one. Not that it really matters, but hey, a little bit of trivia for you. 6th of October, I'm pretty sure, was when this started airing in 1981. And yeah, the J9 trilogy is something I've been super interested in for ages, and I was super happy that Discotek picked them up. Took a little bit of time to get them, but I did get them all. So yeah, basically this is like I said, a trilogy of series that are all, from what I understand, like based in the same universe, not necessarily with all the same characters every time. I believe they are. The other two series, Baldios and Sasoriga, are trilogies, are sequels to this series, but are set like considerably further in the future each time. This series itself is set like a good 100 years in our future still. Like I think this takes place in the early 2100s, and in this series, basically, humanity has populated the solar system, but at the same time as that's happening, crime syndicates and basically gangs and the like are all running amok. The Earth Federation and the governments therein, all around the solar system, are heavily corrupt, and yeah, it's not a nice place. In the asteroid belt, we basically have this group of renegades, or whatever you want to call them, called Cosmo Rangers, who basically take on the jobs that the police consider too difficult for them to solve and like sort out. Kind of similar to Crusher Joe. So I'm kind of looking forward to watching these. I think I'll have a good time with these. Also, the character designs, they're not done by anyone who worked on Lupin, but that was basically the I can't think of a better word right now, but like the objective was like it was basically said to the character designers like, hey, make all the characters look like Lupin characters. So like all the characters have like this Lupin the Third. You can kind of see it on these screenshots on the back here, like character designs and stuff. So yeah, this series also, in terms of its plot, I haven't watched it yet, obviously, but in terms of its plot, it sounds kind of similar to a little bit similar to like Captain Harlock. I think it will be sort of similarly structured to like the Captain Harlock TV series of the 70s, as well as I mean, it says it here on the back. I got it from this, like inspired by samurai TV dramas and stuff as well. So yeah, I'm looking forward to watching this one. This is one of the ones that was fan sub. This is the only series that had been fan sub previously to completion. Basinger has been like fan subbed halfway through, or was fan subbed halfway through, and Sasorider had never been fan subbed at all. I think beyond like episode 1 maybe. So yeah, like it's really cool to have these and to have gotten these. And yeah, I feel sorry. I don't really want to keep up. Yeah, I've got it, and you have. I don't want to do that. So I just feel it's such a shame that Discotek, for whatever reason, had to basically cancel these licenses, or the licenses were cancelled, and these all had to go out of print. I really hope if anyone, or those of you watching that did want to get these, were able to get them. If not, I believe there'll probably be avenues for you to watch these in the future online somewhere. You know the drill, probably. You know what I mean. Whatever. Galaxy, Cyclone, and Braiger. So yeah, like I said, this one had already been fan subbed, but the other ones hadn't been fan subbed to completion. But there is now official English translations out there in the world, so hopefully there'll be avenues for people to see this series, even if unfortunately it doesn't look like many people will be able to own them. I do wonder, in the case of these, I think the J9 trilogy was released on standard def Blu-ray in Japan as well, and I do wonder if the reason that the license might have been cancelled was because the Japanese version wasn't selling very well, maybe because these were out there in existence and they were undercutting basically the Japanese sales, because obviously America and Japan share the same Blu-ray region. I remember people being excited about that back in the day and like defending it as something really cool. And I remember even back then, like a good decade ago or more, like just saying like, this really sucks that Japan and America share the same you know, Blu-ray zone code or whatever, because it just means that so many titles that might have been able to come out on Blu-ray that only came out on DVD in the West at the time was probably because of that, because the Japan didn't want to put would know obviously the American anime market is considerably cheaper than the Japanese one for whatever reason, and basically they didn't want to put those out. Like the whole reason we have things like locked subtitles and things like that on American releases is all like to stop reverse importation things in Japan. Like you can, if you have the Japanese audio on a Blu-ray release in America, most of the times you have to have English subtitles on. You can't turn them off and things like that. And it's all to just deter Japanese buyers from buying a cheaper Western version of the show, like an American product, rather than their home product in Japan. So yeah, things like that. I've always thought it really sucks, and I do wonder if this was to do with that as well. I'm not 100% sure of that, but it does make me wonder. So anyway, nice alternative artwork underneath here. Really, really cool. And again, I just love the character designs for this. Obviously, one thing I haven't mentioned quite yet, this standard definition Blu-ray, and the same for all three of these series. Unfortunately, the masters available for the J9 trilogy are pretty woeful. They're kind of like, I don't know if they're VHS levels, but they're not too far away from that. They're like really grungy releases, but you kind of just get used to it after a while. When you start watching this series, it's like, yeah, I'd like it in better clarity and better detail. But once you're into the story and the show and the characters, like, you just get used to it. You just do after a while. Like, I love getting Blu-rays because you do, I'll always prefer a proper Blu-ray, like an Astro Boy and things like that, because you get all that extra detail and nicer colour. But, I'm not against watching something that looks pretty grungy, because in the end, you do get used to it while you're watching it. You just adapt to it. So, yeah. Is there anything else to say? I'm going to link the opening to this one in the comments. It's super cool. I'll probably do the same for Astro Boy as well, because I really like that if you haven't heard it. Anyway, yeah. Galaxy, Cyclone, Braiger. Braiger. Yeah, happy to have that, obviously. Let's move on to the final thing. Okay then, finally, for this first part, the final series I have from 1981 that I haven't shared in a video before. There are other series like Go Shogun and stuff that I've shared in videos that also aired in 1981. But yeah, this one also started in the fall of 1981, early October, I think like October 8th or something, this started airing. This was a controversial show at the time, and we'll get into why. It won't be too surprising, really. It's a full standard definition on Blu-ray release, all 95 episodes of this TV series, which is crazy. I picked up Miss Machiko, this is actually the second time I've bought this series. I did buy this series before and gifted it to a friend of mine as I think it was a Christmas gift, because he had already watched the whole series. Because yeah, Discotek licensed this for streaming like back in 2015, 2016 or something, and did the whole thing, kind of like translated the whole show like slowly, making it available on Crunchyroll in chunks, and eventually they did decide to take all that hard work and put it out on a Blu-ray for people to buy. So yeah, possibly one of the most random shows to get to completion, like a 95 episode TV series, which is about, like, from the 80's, to get a 95 episode TV series. This is longer than any of the Giant Robot shows or any of that sort of stuff. I believe this might be the longest show that's currently in print from like at least the early 80's. I'm pretty sure obviously Urusei Yatsura recently got licensed, and that's 195 episodes. But yeah, anyway, Miss Machiko. So yeah, what is this show about? This show is about this lady here, Miss Machiko, who is an elementary school teacher, who is quite, a pretty lady or whatever, and yeah, she takes the she takes a lot of attention from the young boys in her class, who all like to tease her and basically set traps and jokes and things like that to basically get her into various states of undress across all these episodes. 95 episodes, yeah, a bunch of elementary school boys and things like that, doing things, basically sexually harassing their teacher, which is insane. It is a comedy, obviously, and it's the teacher. There's nothing like the teacher. I think she has like a. Did it say it on the back? I think she has like a A catchphrase in the show whenever she gets caught or tricked by her students, you know, saying something along the lines of, "Oh, this is so embarrassing," and things like that. And that's like, sort of like the punchline to everything. But ultimately, like the teacher is basically, um, you know, innocent in all this, and like she helps the worst students to get through certain things that might be going on in their personal lives and all these sort of things. Like in that sense, you know, it's a little bit more. Um, I wouldn't say family friendly necessarily, but you know what I mean. This is like a weird show. Miss Machiko is a spirited screwball sex comedy from junior high kids. Okay, I honestly thought it was elementary when I read it up somewhere else. But up here it says a classroom of middle schoolers. I don't freaking know. Anyway, the course. Wait a minute. First airing on Japanese TV in 1981, Miss Machiko is a spirited screwball sex comedy for junior high kids that caused an uproar with parent-teacher associations across the nation on its debut, unsurprisingly. But decades later, it remains a cult favourite, presented here in its full run of 95 episodes Japanese with English subtitles. Shall we just read it, because it is such a weird... We'll read the proper plot, because it is such a weird freaking series. I'm not sure I'm not doing a great job with explaining it. So, the Aruma Academy's newest teacher, Miss Machiko Mai, hits her classroom of middle schoolers with a splash. The girls are impressed with her quick wit and stylish wardrobe. The boys can't take their eyes or hands in the case of energetic Kenta, who, I think there's this one here, is voiced by the same actress that does Tetsuro from Galaxy Express, which is super weird. Super weird, because it's like a completely different type of, you know, young boy character. It's crazy. Yeah, especially or hands in the case of energetic Keita of her fascinating figure. But Miss Machiko is no strict school mom, patient, free-spirited, and a little silly. She captivates her unruly class, even as she finds herself in one outrageous, embarrassing situation after another. Yeah, maybe not a show that I would have ever thought I would own and want to own, but I don't know, like 95 episode TV series from the early 80's, it pretty much doesn't really matter what it is, I'm going to be interested in trying it. I'm not sure how much fun I'll have with the show, it really depends how its content, sort of like how I deal with the content of it. Again, like I don't think it's that weird, but it is weird, you know. Like it doesn't, yeah, it's still a show from the early 1980's and stuff, but yeah, it's just a kind of a weird series, but a fun series from what I've heard. So yeah, decided to pick it up. So that's Miss Machiko, standard def Blu-ray, all 95 episodes across 2 discs. It's pretty cool, honestly. Like I'd like to see Discotek do a few more titles like this. Like I'm really interested to see how Discotek proceed once they've kind of done all of like the giant robot mecha shows that were available for them to do for the 70's and 80's. Like will they dive into some more stuff like this? Like I don't know. Like I know they did license also for streaming the like the Mr. Osamatsu stuff. Yeah, they did that for like a bunch, and they like subtitled like a bunch of that from the 80's. But I don't know, like just other shows. I mean, they're doing Urusei Yatsura and stuff. Like I don't know. I'd like to see them like do more shows like that. So yeah, that's my 1981 part one of my giant Discotek Media Blu-ray, and I think there is at least one DVD that will be included in these hauls as well. So yeah, basically covering all the stuff that Discotek have licensed and released from the 1980's that I picked up. And yeah, so this is the first part that was 1980 to 1981. I think the next part is 1982 to 1983, and then from there it's sort of more spread out because yeah, it seems that Discotek have been focusing primarily on the first few years of the 80's and not so much as on the later part of late. So anyway, I'm Biz. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Tell me your thoughts on all the stuff we talked about in the comments down below, and I'll see you next time.